Good morning, it's Andy with ACC Crappie Sticks. I'm out here with my good buddy Tim of Longbranch Guide Service. We are out here on Enid and we're going to do some long lining. It's a very effective summertime technique and we wanted to try it out, and it gives Tim a chance to see if it's going to work out this early in the year and maybe he can start doing it. But we just want to show you how it's done. You don't see a lot of it. And it's a very efficient, effective way to cover a lot of water and put fish in the boat. And it's fun and relaxing, so stay tuned and we're going to do it.
Hey guys, we're out here on Enid this morning. We're going to do some long line trolling with jigs. We're going to cover some water. We're looking for some fish that's pulled out. We're in the tail end of the spawn. We're going to try to find some of these post-spawn females that's pulled out in this deeper water. What we're using today is, of course, ACC rods. We've got some 14s, 10s, and 7/6s, I believe, what we've got in the boat today. Today we're set up with some 1/8 ounce jigs and 16ths and a couple of 32nds. We're just trying to vary our depths if you just kind of see where these fish are at. And hopefully we're going to put some big slabs in the boat this morning.
I want to introduce you to my buddy Stu Miller. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's out here doing some filming. We've had a lot of fun, and I'll let you tell us about your channel. You've got 2 of them, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Stu Miller. I run a couple YouTube channels. The one we're filming for today is Total Angling Experience. I like to cover a lot of the technology sides, the equipment sides of fishing. Everybody sees fish getting pulled in, and that's fine, but how you get to that point is really what I like to cover on my channel. If you want to check it out, Total Angling Experience. Also for other outdoorsmen, I run a second channel there, Coon Creek Outdoors. You guys are into hunting, trapping, things like that, fur handling, you can check that out too. So anyway, let's get to fishing.
Let's have some fun. Let's catch some fish.
Keep that ACC down. Better fish, huh? There you go. Get him. Oh, it's not even crappie, is it? Keeper crappie.
All right guys, we're starting to catch a few fish here, kind of figuring them out a little bit. Not very big at the moment, but they're running, look like they're running about 6-8 foot deep. We've caught a couple on the same color, so we're fixing to make a few changes and see if we can't put a few more in the boat and see if our pattern's starting to work.
That's a good one. Here, I'll bring him over the side. I'll get him out here. Good fish. Yeah, this is the chaos that sometimes happens whenever you're long line trolling. Good fish coming in. There we go. Here, hold that fish up, Tim. Let's see that.
We like to cover a lot of different techniques and show you guys how to learn different techniques. And what I like about this long lining is it's a relaxing way to be productive. You don't have to stand up and bend over and stare at a screen. If you're elderly or have a bad back, or you just want to sit down and relax, or if it's hot out, you can sit here and you're just sitting down and you're looking at rod tips, and if you miss one for a second, it doesn't matter. He's going to stay on there because the boat's moving. So it's very relaxing, very easy on your body, and you're catching a lot of fish. So there's no trade-off. It's not like you're relaxing and you're not catching fish. You're being productive. And I like it. I don't get to do it as much as I would like, but it's enjoyable, and you get to set up your own experiment. You know, try heavier jig heads on this one, let more line out on this one, change color baits on this one, and until you get it dialed in. And you know, you may have a minute where you don't catch any fish, or 10 minutes, then you'll go through and it's just total chaos. So it's exciting, it's a lot of fun, and you get to cover water. You can end up from one end of the lake to the other in a day. What the?
Flying crappie.
Marlin.
A lot of fish coming on that. They're liking that ACC chub.
Isn't that weird? That can't be a coincidence.
Nice fish. There's a double. Look at that coming in. Right where we're trying to
How
talk.
often does that happen?
Double.
This one feels better.
Andy's got one. You can see how fast fishing this be, y'all, whenever you run through a school of fish.
A little better, but
All right, so Tim reels in his fish. I'm gonna let him kind of explain what he's using as far as.
all right, Tim. Right now we're pulling jigs, and we're talking about pulling crankbaits. What's the difference? Why not just pull jigs the whole time? Because they're cheaper. What's the advantage to getting crankbaits out?
In the heat of the summer, I think the crankbaits with the bigger profile produces more fish. They can see the bait better, more action in the crankbait, the rattle.
Yeah,
more
rattle. I didn't even think about that. And they vibrate. They just shake, shake, shake.
And it's just more of a reaction bite. You're moving faster with the crankbait.
Cover more water.
Cover more water. But you can definitely pull the jigs the same as the crankbaits. You can get the jigs down deeper, like we were talking about. They come off. Normally on these lakes, typically we have a thermocline in the summer, and the fish will suspend right above the thermocline.
How deep is that?
Normally around here, it's about anywhere from about 15 feet, 18 feet deep, and they'll be suspended right above it. And with the crankbaits, we use line counter reels, and you can be so more precise with the depth of the crankbait than you can with the jigs. You could definitely run line counter reels with the jigs as well. It would just take. It's hard to cast a light jig with a line counter reel.
Yeah, and get it back far enough.
Right. It just saves time by using a spinning reel where you can cast them out.
Yeah, you want to be as efficient as possible.
That's
all
right.
day long. It adds up at the end of 8 hours.
No doubt, no doubt. To me, with the jigs and the spinner, it's just more of a feel thing, and with the crankbaits, it's more precise.
Yeah, you get a crankbait that runs 12 to 15 feet, that's where it's going to be.
That's right, that's right.
You know it's going to be there.
And some people run a jig above the crankbait.
That's what I do all the time.
And then see which one they want.
Right.
Let them tell you. But I guess you're not really getting hung up. There's nothing out here to get hung up in, so you're not really losing baits.
That's right.
I'd say after a while they just get chewed on, don't they?
That's it.
And that's a good thing.
Exactly.
You got to retire one because there's no paint left on it.
That's exactly right.
He did his job.
Better fish, he said. But yeah, a lot of this is just varying the speed of the boat, varying depths. As Tim said, he's running 16ths, 8ths, 30 seconds. and you're just covering water. It's a better fish.
And it'll get a lot better when more of the females pull out here post-spawn, right?
Yeah, and the males. We're only pretty much fishing for half the population of the lake.
And he's got another one. So hey guys, if you want to do this technique, get a hold of Tim, because he's going to be doing this all summer. Just getting going.
All right, Tim, tell us a little bit more about the length of rods and why you use them, that setup.
I typically try to keep anywhere from 2 to 4 foot separation between each rod. And the reason why I do that is a lot of times, like when you're turning, you don't want your lines crossing over one another. And if you keep that separation in there, it keeps the lines from doing that, of course, and keeps them separated.
You mean length?
That's right, length.
So you want to say, okay, 14, okay, I got you.
Today we're only using 6 rods. Normally I pull with 8. So I'd use a 16, 12, 8, and 6, something along those lines.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of separation for sure.
Right. And you can, like we talked earlier, you can use this, you don't have to be as precise and have all this high-tech equipment to do this. I mean, you can basically do this with the rods you got at home.
Yeah, if you've got an 8, 10, and a 12, or a
right,
11 and 13, just whatever you've got. You don't have to go buy $1,000 worth of rods just to get started.
Exactly.
But it's like anything, once you get good at it, say you really like it, then you can hone in and get more specific and really refine your setup, huh?
That's exactly right.
All right, Tim, tell us a little bit more about the setup on the business end, what size weights and how far apart you put them.
Normally, 24, 36 inches apart. These are about 24 inches apart here. These are double 16th ounces here, I believe. Depending on how deep you want your baits to run is what size head you use. These fish today are kind of high in the water column, so we're running these double 16ths. If you wanted to fish, 10, 12 foot deep, I would run double 8s or maybe a quarter on top and a 32nd on the bottom. Vary it up, and change as you see fit. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I do prefer to always put my heaviest jig up top and the lightest jig on the bottom. A lot of people always put their heavy jig on the bottom and their light up top, but when you do that, as they're pulling through the water, if you've got your heavy jig on the bottom, it'll pull like so coming through the water column. So if you put your heavy jig up top, it's going to pull like this and it'll bring the lighter jig up.
And give it probably more of a natural flutter presentation.
That's exactly right.
That makes sense.
And if you're just beginning and, and the double jig kind of intimidates you about getting tangled up, just run a single jig. It works just as good.
Like you said, and that's what I like about it, we've talked about it before in our videos, there's no right or wrong way to fish. You don't have to watch this and go, oh my God, I got to go spend a bunch of money and I've got to have the perfect knot in no. Tie a jig on, chuck it out the back of the boat and take off and start refining it as you go. And you may like just one jig back there to keep it simple, less hang-ups, less knots, less mess. And then as you progress, hone it in better. But and you can start as simple as you want. You can chuck a rod out that side, one out that side with an 1/8 ounce jig head, go down the lake and you'll catch fish.
That's right. See what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. Everybody's different, and just experiment with it and figure out what works for you, and just go have fun. That's the main thing.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm gonna show you the knot that I tie. Just a basic loop knot. You go through the eye, pull your tag line back like so, and take it around once, twice, through both the hole you created, whole body of the hook, back through. Cinch it down. All it is to it.
And then we'll just keep running. Then say if you wanted to do this on a double rig set, you would just mark up your line however much and then do it again.
Right, okay. That's just a basic knot. I tie that knot for most everything I do. Like I said, that was just for one. To do the double jig, I would have just slid this jig up the line, done the same thing, left about that much line down, and I would have repeated the same step at the bottom. And then you would have had two up here, one here and one here.
It's not a real small fish, it's just a really big jig what we're using, guys.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. We're gonna head home now, and I just wanted to thank my good friends, Stu here with his channel of Total Angling Experience, Tim here with Longbranch Guide Service. We'll put links below how to follow and get a hold of both of them. Thank you guys for watching and just believing in everything we're doing. We love you, we appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.